Good evening. I'm Technical Sergeant Laurel Mitchell, Superintendent of the 317th Airlift Wing at Dyess Air Force Base in Texas. Today, we will be discussing organizational culture, unhealthy and healthy element of organizational culture, and the impact that it has on an organization's members. Additionally, we will discuss the role and importance that an NCO plays in shaping, strengthening, and maintaining that healthy culture. I want to start off with a quote that I pulled from our reading. It states, "A leader's success will depend to a great extent upon understanding organizational culture." Now ask yourself, who did you first think of when you saw the word leaders? An organization's culture is in part, but not solely, created and maintained by the leaders of the organization. In my opinion, leaders are not just your commanders, chiefs, and first sergeants. As NCOs, we are leaders who are grooming and shaping our airmen to be future leaders. And some of them may actually already be in those positions where they are considered leaders by not only you, but their peers. So what is organizational culture? Our reading defined this as a set of common understandings around which action is organized. I want to get into this a little more and specifically explain some unhealthy and healthy elements I have experienced at the 317th and the negative and positive impact that this has had on not just the wing, but the staff. A little background. Being in the admin career field and community, our sole job is to directly support our commanders' programs and visions while supporting our customers. A lot of time, we also work very closely with our chiefs and our superintendents. As admin, we can work in any unit, and the size of our team typically varies depending on what unit you're working in. You will have a master, tech, or sometimes even a staff sergeant who lead the shop depending on the manning of the base, and a few airmen that form the team depending on the size of the unit. When I first arrived to Dyess and met the two individuals I would replace, I was initially told and painted this negative image of the unit that I was about to work for. These two complained not only about the leadership, but every member a part of the wing staff, and didn't give me the opportunity to form my own opinion. They voiced to me that majority of the staff gossip. No one wanted to adapt to change. There was poor communication between our office, the two commanders execs, and the secretary, who I'm used to working very closely and knowingly have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. The individual that I actually came to the unit to replace couldn't wait to attend her skill bridge program and retire because she couldn't get out of the unit fast enough, leaving no continuity for me and not doing proper turnover that I could know what my actual job was at this particular wing. All of these things forced these two individuals to form their own cliques because they didn't want to be involved with nor around anyone else that worked on the staff. All of these things had a negative impact on the unit and created a very hostile culture and environment with not just the staff, but the customers who would come into the office who constantly felt that tension. This, in my opinion, prevented the mission from properly getting accomplished. The culture of this organization was extremely toxic and hurt future team members. My new airman actually cried when she was told she was moving over to the wing because of the culture she was told previously existed. The lack of communication prevented these offices from being on the same page, in my opinion, encouraging these negative group mindsets and encouraging no team concept. Despite all of the negative feedback I was given, I came into this unit fully transparent and wanting to communicate with all key players and team members, wanting to foster a healthy environment. I quickly learned that actually everyone couldn't wait for the new dynamic and shift. The mutual agenda was to reconceptualize the goal of the wing. Everyone couldn't wait, and they were willing to adapt and receive the upcoming change. We all wanted to participate in morale events so that we could get to know one another. Although not mandatory, you started to see everyone show up because they actually wanted to be there. Communication across the board between leadership and subordinates became the new norm. Everyone respectfully listened to each other. Your value was not just evident, but acknowledged and appreciated. All of these things created a positive impact on our staff, and implementation of these changed behaviors bettered us as a wing. Healthy relationships were built, our morale was boosted, promoting a good work environment for our team. With more communication and a positive workspace, it made it easier to create continuity for future members. By saying all of that, it leads me to explaining the importance of maintaining this newfound healthy organizational culture. Creating this new stress-free work environment, I've had my airmen express to me that they no longer clock watch, eager to go home directly at 1600 daily, and coming to work no longer feels like a chore. They feel like they have a sense of purpose and belonging to the team, and they matter. These things have built a level of trust, making them feel competent and that those around them truly care. They not only appreciate being included, but the different levels of communication that they are receiving from leadership and myself. As an NCO, we play a pivotal role in this. I want to break down these three things and explain as an NCO what I can do to contribute. Shaping. I want to continue to send that powerful message and enforce those core values. First, leading by example and making sure I am being self-aware of not committing any form of unconscious bias based on the things that were told to me when I first arrived at the unit. If I am preaching to them about having a positive attitude, it is my responsibility to walk the walk as well. Strengthening. Teaching and learning from one another. Nothing in life is perfect, and things can always be better. Daily, I'll offer new ideas and encourage my airmen to do the same. With this new team, it's been extremely easy to go to our leadership and discuss these ideas that come to mind. This new group is constantly thinking of ways for improvement and constantly challenging each other in a positive manner to express those improvements to strengthen not just our staff, but our wing, whether it's coming from our officers, NCOs, or airmen. Finally, maintaining. All tiers are responsible for following through and being consistent. But I can only truly speak for myself and the things that I have control over. I will ensure that I do my part in making sure we are continuing all of the positive change that we have implemented and being open to feedback if we fall off track and fall short, not only just from my airmen, but my customers who experienced those unhealthy cultures in the past. Also, making sure we are keeping up with continuity and passing it along to those future members who will eventually be a part of the team. So in conclusion, we defined organizational culture. We discussed the difference between unhealthy and healthy elements of organizational culture. We also talked about the impact that these elements have on a member and the unit. Finally, we discussed the role and importance in shaping, strengthening, and maintaining this culture. I want to thank you for listening to my presentation. Have a good evening.